Welcome back. In this video, if you're a founder, especially a solo founder or in growth GTM, go-to-market ops, this is a video for you. We're going to do is create a minimal viable product flow that allows you to scale your lead stack, specifically when you're generating leads, right? So what I want to do is quickly cover off the flow in a way. We're going to treat Clay in this example as a key source where we're going to find ISPs, we're going to segment ISPs, we're going to enrich ISPs, and we're going to use the brain, ChatGPT, to help us with a lot of the messaging and automation. Mostly the messaging, to be honest with you. I don't want to cover off automation, but you can actually automate stuff, especially with Atlas as an agent. Then you've got the channels. You can use some of these are paid, some of them are free, some are limited free, some are just require credits. So with the channels, especially with Clay, with the channels, you have Apollo, which can do find ISPs, filter the ISPs, prioritize the ISPs, and do an outreach. So your email sequencing. You've got LinkedIn, so you've got Sales Navigator if you're paying for that, or you can connect with people and then send messages. And then you have also HubSpot. Now, HubSpot is interesting because it's a CRM. And what it means is that it has HubSpot for free, so you can have a free version. But in HubSpot going forward, you can actually integrate forms to lead capture. You can lead score. You can, it's a whole CRM, which is ideal for much more of a scale or growing. When you validated your business model to some extent, and you really want to scale now to something more serious. And that's where I recommend HubSpot. It's simply and very easy to use as well. Now with the Gmail, probably most of the co-founders, founders I should say, solo founders, really focus on Gmail initially. And you can use free plugins or extensions that allows you to do this. So you have Mail Meteor, you have another Unicorn, when I talked about that, which allows you to, it's called Magical, Auto Magical Apps as a company, but it allows you to run sequences. This allows you to automate a lot of the data in Gmail, and this allows you to run those follow-up sequences. Okay, so we have a great game plan for us to ultimately create this stack. This is what it's all about. So you have your Clay, you've got your GPTs, and you've got your Gmails and your plugins that you can actually do. Mostly are free, and if you're not, they're really cheap. But the point here is really you want to scale, or you want to validate before you scale. So let's start with Clay. We want to find the ideal customer profiles for our segment. I've used this before, an example. So you have an app that requires scheduling, helping you solving problems around scheduling. Here's my list, and I'll show you how I get this. This is basically a list of all production schedulers. So your solution helps them, especially in manufacturing, schedule. If you're setting up a new line of food, you want to schedule that in terms of resources, people, actual machinery. You want to schedule in terms of where are the inputs and outputs and when to optimize for those inputs and outputs. So you can actually get your ingredients in, your labor in, your machinery in, your packaging in, and so forth. So scheduling is it's super important, and optimizing that for the right time frame. So seasonality could be an issue. And also resources, so both people and actual food items or inputs to your production line. The scheduling is huge, but there's a big challenge of making sure how do you coordinate that. There are solutions out there, but what if you can apply AI to this, right? You can apply AI to help you schedule and optimize for that schedule. Okay, so that's pretty much the game plan for the solution. So I went into Clay. You can use Apollo. You can find those people if you wanted to, right? You can search for those people and find it. You can assign credits to how much you want to spend, right? At least initially. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so now what we're going to do is if we go back to the Clay, and I've created a list. So this is a list of those production scheduling. If we go back to here, my list here. So there are a couple ways you can look at this. You have a major list, and this is about like close to 200, right? But if you have a minimal viable product, scaling your lead gen stack as a minimal viable approach, right? You want to ensure that you're testing before you spend more money and time on any of these segments. So, of course, we can actually use Clay's signals to identify those most inclined to receive your email or outbound engagement. So there's hope, if they change jobs, somebody's joined that company, or the company's posting new schedulers. It's a good indicator of them actually building a new needing a scheduling optimization solution. Or there's a promotion. Somebody's moved from production scheduler to estimator to a master scheduler. So and you can use sort of news and fundraising. So news as in they had a new line they're launching. So opportunities. So you can use these signals to filter out, basically, or prioritize the ones that you want to get outreach, which is a great way. Okay, so you can use that technique, or you can actually, if you're inclined, if you're a little bit of more advanced, you can actually use Clay's own AI and create a custom approach to it. So you can save that. So if you go to your, you can browse, and it's here, and there's you can actually, there's a whole heaps of people that offer these ones they've done before. As an internal AI analysis tool, or it's another one here. There's find CEOs and head of marketing. So there's a lot of those you can actually search for. Okay, depending on your business and stuff. Or you can save your own. So I've saved a couple where this looks at signals around the of those lists. Find me the signals that are growing at this much, or find me those that are expanding at a particular region. So you can customize this, and it's easy to create these. You just write in natural language and create hit generate, and it'll generate that prompt for you, and you can run it and test it. And if you like it, save it. Simple as that. So what we covered off so far. So you've got your list that you found using Clay, and then you want to now prioritize. Now, before even doing the prioritization, there's one step before that I think you should do, is prioritize a segment on the list by some type of firmographics before you go into the intent, right? Because then you have right fit. You've got ISP and intent. Then you can filter it by employee size. You might just cover off only a particular industry. You might say, I'm going to just focus on food. So if I go here, say I can go, okay, let me just add a filter. I'm going to just target employees equal to, or let me just say greater than 1,000, because I want to go hit enterprise. But I don't want to go too far, so I'm going to add another filter. Employees, go here, is less than or equal to, say 2,000. Okay, so this gives me a good list of, let's see how much it comes up here. Okay, great, and look, and it's segmented already by itself. Production food. So now I'm enterprise food production. It's a great way, and these are the sort of ISPs I want to go and engage. But before I even engage, I can actually prioritize, remember, based on signals. Okay, I can go in signals and see of these which one have newsworthy, so I can prioritize and customize my outreach. Or, like I said before, is if I go back here and go actions again and into AI, I can actually select my custom. If I go to browse, go to myself, I can create the custom ones to find those ideal customer profiles with high intent. Now you've got that list, and I've done this already, so you can see here. I've done this list. I created a ChatGPT. So this component here. I've done it within Clay, a ChatGPT model. I can select different models, which is great. My outreach message. Now I've got my message. These are my high intent ones because I've got newsworthy things that have indicated there. These are the right segments I'm targeting in terms of employee size, enterprise, the right industry. And I've got now a really great personalized message, outbound message. And this one here is connecting. So I've already connected them with LinkedIn and so forth. Not the point here. The point is that you've got your custom, you've got your filtered list at high intent because you ran signals around it as well. They're raising, or they've done a strategic initiative, or have a new production line. Now you just basically what you got to do this is just export this out. Okay, just export this list out and upload it into Excel sheets. Now, this is where the magic happens, where you want to go outbound. So at a scale, there's a couple solutions you can do that, right? So we're going now, we're moving from, we've got our enrichment, we've got our messaging, now we want to sort of engage. So of course, if you have licenses, it's much easier to do this one on Polo, or if you have Sales Navigator to do that outreach, but or HubSpot at scale, because HubSpot has also Sales Pro, which can actually send out messages at scale. However, if you're starting out as a solo founder, or you're a you're a growth go-to-market ops person where you want to test things before informing your sales team, you might want to do just a Gmail, because it's kind of standard. Most people, 70 and plus, will use Gmail in the backbone. And there's two solutions there. You can use Mail Meteor to actually prepare your outreach out bulk. So this one I'll show you soon. Or you can use something like magical apps, and specifically if you go into Nudge, where you can actually create follow-ups. Again, so if you go scroll down here, you can do it. Look, I mean, you got a lot there, right? And you got credits per month, by the way. So you can, there's enough for you to just remember. All we're doing here is a minimal viable lead gen stack assessment engine, right? We're just trying to, the minimal viable, which engine is going to work for me, which kind of stack that I'm going to use, from Clay to ChatGPT, or any large language model, and then what channels I'm going to use. So this is a minimal viable lead gen stack. This is what we're focusing on. So now you've got great free options as well, and this is great for follow-ups. So now we've got this list. Now, how do we do this? So if you go to extensions, you plug in the extension, and you run a new campaign, and it will pre-populate. So let's just go here. It's going to load. So you can do that. You can do the default. I can remove this. Okay, so you can see here, it's taking the first name from my spreadsheet, and I'm going to put in my outreach message. There we go. So I can just now sign off, Frankie, and then if I can preview, let's see if it does a preview. Sorry. There it is. This is the email. I can do it at scale and for free. So that now I've got that email sent, and I want to follow up. Okay. So this is where the other tool. So if I go back, so this is gonna just you can send this, and it will send it to, or launch it. Okay. Now you got the other solution where you can actually, if I go into this unicorn, now you have automatic a magical nudge. It allows you to when you send that email, so when you send your cold outreach, you want to follow them up as much as possible. But this tool allows you to do this really, again, for pretty much free. If you go back into your email, you install this. It's an extension. Okay, you install it, you sign in, and so this is what you see. And say, assuming that you send these out, I can just select all these as just examples, right? Remind me later. Okay, you can see here they're nudged, or I've actually selected them already. They're nudged, and so I can actually create a new nudge, and I can personalize this. Or you can actually, so you can see how many nudges you want to create as well. So if I get out of here, go back here, this has been already scheduled. If I go into here, so you can see here, these are the ones that's going to be scheduled. It's generic, but you can actually personalize. You can create in the templates. You can see, so these are all generic ones. You can see here, they're going to follow up. Hey, just in case, I totally fine. I just check back down the road if it makes sense. You can schedule this. You can edit this. You can cancel this. But now these are all scheduled for you as what? At bulk. So let's summarize here. You have the ability to find your ISP at bulk, and for minimal cost these days, finding your ISPs. And like I said, you're going to go there in Clay or Apollo if you want to have a license, just find them, right? Then when you narrow down to your list, let's get back here, is that how do you engage with this particular list? How do you engage with your ISP? So before you engage, you want to sometimes segment to priorities. In this case, we segment by employee and in industry. Then I go and use signals to actually personalize the outreach, or at least, even if I don't personalize, at least I know these people are more likely going to be have a pain point that needs to be solved, because they change a new role, or they've acquired a new production line or new product service. They're offering a new healthy snack. It's a great time to actually engage, and you can use play signals, okay, to find those news. Or as we mentioned before, if I get out of here, back to action, back to AI tools, you can go into and save your own ones that you've created. Okay, so a lot of ways. Again, this is all about getting enough information, and if you wanted to use that information to in your outreach in Clay, you can actually say use that news. So you'll be a item called news item. You can use that in the text. So you can say here, I don't know, like say prepare an email using the person's name and title and company and the news, whatever the news item. I don't have it there because I haven't ran that signal. Whatever the signal news is, to personalize, and you just it will generate a very personalized outreach based on the latest news, if you wanted it to go that way. Okay, if you wanted it to go that way. Okay, so that's it. So there is your ultimate AI lead gen stack as a minimal viable stack. I'll just say that's the best of both worlds. It's a minimal viable. So you want to test this. You want to run this again, and ensure that before you invest in any long-term solution, you know that, hey, emails work for me. So I'm going to invest in Apollo, or email works for me. I'm going to go back into Clay, and Clay also have sequencing. You can sequence it out. Um, you know, um, and you go, hey, I like the way ChatGPT prepares its copy, or Claude, or Gemini, and so forth. You want to learn about, or you might say, hey, LinkedIn has been very successful, and then you can justify going to a CRM to start managing your contacts. Again, see, HubSpot is great because it also has a free version. Okay, there you have it. Your ultimate AI lead gen minimal viable product stack. Hope that was useful. Please, as you like this, subscribe, follow, like, and leave a comment as well, because I always get back to people. Thank you.